she said softly as she unlocked her door. "Worry about Neil and Sophie." "I will, I swear," I promised as we stepped into her tiny apartment. "But let me worry about you for a bit, as a distraction." Penny's roommate, Rosa, sat on the sofa, her dark hair piled on top of her head in one of those massive loops of hair universal among women. She frowned when we entered, and my first thought was, that's quite rude. Until I remembered the last time she'd seen Penny, we'd been thoroughly broken up. "What's he doing here?" she demanded, fixing Penny with a cold, demanding stare. Penny shrugged off her coat, and I caught it for her. "It's a long story. Condense it for me." Rosa's gaze flicked to me, her eyes narrowing for a moment. "Because the last time we talked about him, you two weren't a thing." "Well, now we're a thing again," Penny said wearily. "Like I said, it's a long story. I promise I'll tell you every detail once he's not around and it's not so awkward. But right now I'm exhausted." Christ, I'm right here. Can they not see me standing next to this conversation? Her boss's family was dealt a blow tonight. Penny had to deliver some clothes to the hospital for them. I tried not to be confrontational. After all, Rosa only wanted to protect Penny, a feeling I understood well enough. But Penny was emotionally and physically drained. She needed space, and I would see that she got it. Rosa's expression softened, but not by much. "I did think it was a little early." "It definitely doesn't feel early," Penny groaned, kicking off her shoes. "And I definitely can't feel my toes." "All right, let's get you into a hot shower to warm up." I sounded like my sister, bossing people around for their own good. But in this case, it was very much for Penny's own good. Hot water chased off cold chills, and if she disagreed with me, I'd just tell her that it was an old Scottish wives' tale. She'd feel like she had to do it or risk offending me. But she offered no resistance. "Okay, let me get my bathrobe, though, and you can put your coat in my room." Penny's bedroom was barely large enough for the both of us to stand in at the same time. Her bed was a full size, tiny in comparison to the huge, comfortable California king at my place. When she clicked on the wall switch, hundreds of fairy lights illuminated the space in a ring around the ceiling. None of the furniture matched, and most of her life's possessions were crowded into plastic bins. Her bathrobe lay across her unmade bed. She leaned down to straighten the covers. If her face wasn't so cold and windburned, I assumed she would be blushing. "Stop," I admonished her gently. "I'm not going to judge your cleanliness. I'm just glad to be here." "Yeah?" Her bottom lip trembled as she looked up at me. "You are?" I had to kiss her. I couldn't help myself. I'd never be able to kiss her enough to make up for our long separation. I leaned down to meet her sweet, soft mouth with my lips, and she gripped the sleeves of my coat for balance. Our breakup had been stupid. There was no other way to describe it. Penny and I belonged together, despite all of our differences. She was younger than me, by a lot. 30 years, unbelievably. My life and career were stable and successful, while hers were just starting out. She still saw the world ahead of her as endless and full of possibility, while I spent my days mostly worrying that I'd grown a suspicious mole I hadn't noticed yet. But none of those differences mattered when she was in my arms. She pulled back, her eyes on mine. "I don't ever want to break up again. I don't want to lose you, not when it's so easy to lose people we love." "I'm not going anywhere." I couldn't guarantee that, but neither could she, so it wasn't worth mentioning. "Go get in the shower." She turned and nodded over her shoulder. "Unzip me?" "With pleasure." Despite all we'd been through tonight, and the fact that I'd nearly put my back out fucking her on a conference room table only hours before, the thought of getting my hands on her naked skin managed to distract me from my gloom.